All right, let's dive into a world that feels like it's straight out of science fiction, but it's totally real. We're talking about animals with powers so wild you'd swear they were invented for a comic book or a video game.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Have you ever been playing a game, maybe watching a cartoon, and just thought, man, I wish these things were real? Well, what if I told you that, in a way, they kind of are?
So, check this out. On one side, you've got the Pokemon Shaman, and on the other, a real animal called the leaf sheep. I mean, the resemblance is just wow. This little guy is proof that nature was basically the original creator of superpowers way before we ever came up with them.
And that brings us to our first deep dive, nature's real-life Pokemon. We're going to kick things off with our amazing little green friend, the leaf sheep.
So what's its superpower? Get this, it's solar power. Seriously, this is one of the only animals on the entire planet that can photosynthesize. It literally makes its own food from sunlight just like a plant. It's like a tiny crawling solar panel. The big question is, how on earth does it do that?
Okay, so this whole solar-powered heist is a brilliant three-step job. First, the leaf sheep munches on some algae. But here's the crazy part. Instead of just digesting it all, it actually steals the chloroplasts, the little green engines inside plant cells that do all the photosynthesis work. The sciencey term for this is kleptoplasty, and it's super, super rare. Then it just sticks those stolen chloroplasts into its own body, and bam, it's making its own energy from the sun. How cool is that?
But wait, the leaf sheep isn't the only Pokemon doppelganger out there in the ocean. Say hello to the Pikachu nudibranch. I mean, come on, the resemblance is just wild, right? Its superpower is a classic defense mechanism. That super bright yellow color is not just for looks. It's a giant warning sign to any predator that says, hey, I'm poisonous. You'll definitely regret taking a bite.
And here's a little fun fact for you. See those things that look exactly like Pikachu's ears? Yeah, they're not ears. They're actually these super cool sensory organs called rhinophores. They basically let the sea slug smell its way through the water to track down its next meal.
Okay, let's pull ourselves out of the ocean now and travel way, way up into the mountains of Central Asia. We're going to meet an animal that's so elusive, it's basically a legend. I'm talking about the snow leopard, often called the ghost of the mountain. Seriously, if a snow leopard had social media, this is totally what its post would say. And it's 100% true. Its tail is unbelievably long, which it uses for balance when it's navigating those crazy cliffs. But get this, it also wraps it around itself like a built-in scarf for extra warmth. Talk about a useful accessory. And trust me, they absolutely need that warmth. The temperatures where they live can drop all the way down to minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. That is freezing. To survive that, you need a lot more than just a fancy tail scarf. You need a full-on survival toolkit.
And here's what's in that toolkit. First, that spotted coat. It's basically an invisibility cloak that lets them blend right into the rocks. Their fur is super thick and dense to keep them warm. They've got these large nostrils to suck in more oxygen from that thin mountain air. And their legs? Oh, their legs. They can launch themselves up to 50 feet in a single leap. 50 feet! That's just insane. Here's something else you might not know about them. For all their power and mystique, snow leopards can't actually roar like a lion or a tiger. Instead, they make this sound called a chuff. It's this quiet little puff of air. It's pretty much their unique way of saying, hey, in one of the most silent places on the planet.
Okay, but everything we've talked about so far, that is just the tip of the iceberg. The animal kingdom is absolutely jam-packed with superpowers. So let's do a quick rapid-fire round. I'm going to throw a number at you, and then we'll see what incredible ability it belongs to. Ready?
First up, 3 miles. To put that in perspective, that's like 50 football fields laid end to end. What in the world could an animal do that can be measured from that far away?
That is how far away you can hear a howler monkey's roar. We're talking a literal sonic superpower. It makes them one of the absolute loudest animals on land.
All right, next number, 25 feet. Okay, so it's not 3 miles, but that's still nothing to sneeze at. What are we talking about here? Maybe a jump of some kind?
You got it. That's how far a Eurasian lynx can leap in a single bound. That's like jumping across 4 king-sized beds lined up. A true master of agility.
All right, last one for the rapid round, 30 miles per hour. That's as fast as a car driving through a city, so we're definitely talking about speed here. But which animal are we talking about?
That's the top speed of a red fox in short bursts. For an animal that size to hit those speeds, that is a serious feat of power and acceleration. Just incredible.
Okay, so we've seen it all. Solar power, invisibility, super leaps, sonic roars, it's amazing. But you know the saying, with great power comes great responsibility. And that brings us to, honestly, the most important part of all of this. How we can protect these real-life superheroes.
I mean, it's super cool to learn about them, but here's the thing. These aren't just party tricks. These are survival tools, perfectly adapted over millions of years. And right now, the very environments that created these animals, well, they're in trouble. And so are the animals themselves.
So what can we actually do to help? Let's start with our ghost of the mountain, the snow leopard. Number 1, and this is a huge one, never ever buy products made from wild animal parts. Number 2, stay away from those places that let you pet or take pictures with wild animals like big cats. And number 3, something simple but so powerful. Just spread the word. Do a school project on them. Tell your friends why they're so incredible.
And what about our tiny solar-powered heroes, the sea slugs? Well, helping them is just as important. When you're at the beach, just pick up a few pieces of trash, use reef-safe sunscreen. The chemicals in the regular stuff can be really harmful. And honestly, just watch where you step when you're exploring tide pools. You never know whose tiny superhero home you might be standing on. You know, from the deepest parts of the ocean to the highest mountain peaks, real-life superpowers are literally all around us. They're just waiting for us to notice. These creatures prove that our world is way more magical than anything we could ever make up. So I'll just leave you with this. What incredible creature are you going to go discover next?